Did you know that September is Hispanic Heritage Month? Well, we have got a great stocking to celebrate it. Here in the Southwest, so much of our culture is embedded with Hispanic culture. We just really embrace it and really find it as almost a part of our own heritage, even if it's not our nationality. So we are so happy at Servant Crafts to bring you this gorgeous stocking. It is called Feliz Navidad, and it also comes with a cute little ornament. And it is one of the kits that we did a review on a few months back, and we finally got it made up and finished for you. So here it is. This kit, when we did our kit review, it got an A++ for instructions. You can see this gorgeous booklet with all the color photographs and the diagrams and the details. It is fantastic for instructions. And you can see here we have got the base front of the stocking cut out, and it has 3 strips applied at the top with details of embroidery, and it has these beautiful golden stars around the night sky, the Sonoran night sky. And the only thing that I told you got an A+ for instructions. Now, on all these chevrons and diamonds at the top, they tell you to applique them to the stocking and then do the sequins. I have always felt that sequins had to come last. So as on the top of the stocking and down on Santa's poncho, I appliqued all of the chevrons and the diamonds first. Then I came back with the appropriate designated color and put the sequins on. Your sequins will catch your embroidery thread, and it can become a little frustrating if you have more sequins on than you need to have when you're trying to stitch and sew. So here is Santa's mouth. You can see here we've got Santa's poncho, a little bit of his hair, we've got his sombrero, and we've got the whole saguaro is completed with its Christmas lights strung on it in the background. And I just love these saguaro cactuses. The saguaro blooms are actually 2 pieces, and so they really become very 3D and feel very lifelike. Just really lovely in that. So once you cut out Santa's mouth, then you're going to be embroidering a satin stitch of black. And I liked it. I believe that this pattern tells you to applique his mouth on first and then do the satin stitch. Whenever you're doing satin stitch right up to the edge of a piece, it can be very difficult to make sure that that piece continues to lay flat and that you get it all the way to the edge. If you don't go all the way around the piece, you'll find that the felt just pulls through with the embroidery floss. So I really appreciated that in this pattern. I usually do that myself, but it was nice to see it directed that way in the pattern. So, and you can see here, actually, I don't think, gosh, that's wrong. You don't embroider his mouth. It actually is a piece of felt, and it gets appliqued, the 2 pieces together, and then it gets attached to Santa's beard. So it's even easier. Satin stitch can be a little bit scary if you are new to embroidery. It can be a little tedious, and so that is one benefit that this pattern had. Is I don't believe that there is satin stitch really. If any, there's a little bit in Santa's eyes, and that's it. And so again, this is another plus for this kit as far as a beginner. Now, I did mention in our kit review that the felt in this kit is a little bit rough and coarse. I think it actually, come to think of it, kind of lends to the design of the pattern being a little bit more rustic And so that is, although it's kind of a negative, it would be more pleasant to work with felt that's not quite as rustic, but it does really lend itself to this pattern. Here you can see the satin stitch in Santa's eyes. You do satin stitch the black and the whites of his eyes, and then you're going to embroider just a quick outline stitch around the outside of his eyes. That includes his little eyelashes. Now, they do say to put a couple of white stitches in the black of his eye to denote his pupil. And instead of making those stitches, I chose to just do a white French knot in that area and instead of the stitches. So that was one of the few pattern changes that I made to this kit. Here's his finished eyes. And now whenever a kit recommends a little bit of blush or a little rosy cheek on Santa or one of his little elves or whatever it is you're working on, I always take my red chalk sewing pencil. It is a red chalk sewing marker, and I do the blush on their cheeks and around their nose. I will put a link to this pencil or a similar pencil in the description below, as well as everything that you'll need to purchase this kit and to make it, any little details. It'll all be in the link below, so feel free to check on that. You do have to be very careful when you are doing this. It's the chalk marker does not mark real darkly. It's very, very subtle, which is one of the reasons why I like it. In the kit, they do recommend just getting a Q-tip and getting some real blush and putting it on their cheeks. I have not tried that for fear of it just coming out too dark and to just kind of makeup looking. I don't want Santa to look like he's wearing makeup. In this kit, you do applique the face to the beard, and then you will also be adding the mustache, and then on top of the mustache comes his nose. And the mustache gets a little bit of stuffing, and so does the nose. It's so cute, and it just allows it to just pop out just ever so slightly. And again, my hint for doing stuffing is sew halfway around the piece, leaving it open enough that you, before you stuff, so halfway around applique. And then tuck in your stuffing. I've got a little assistant that likes to, my quality assurance manager here. His name is Finnegan. And then so all the way or 50% away around a piece that you're going to stuff, and then tuck the stuffing in and get it nice and even and pin it down and finish sewing the rest. Again, this is something that dawned on me probably about 2 stockings ago, after having done 15, 16, 20 stockings, something like that. Just allowing you to benefit from my experience and find the easy way to stuff. Here's another quick look at the beautiful book. Like I said, the instructions are so detailed, and they give you little boxes to check off as you finish a particular step, so you know when you pick it up exactly where you're coming back to. And here is Santa's face is finished, and his I've just finished completing his guitar, and I think it's just so wonderful that Santa is serenading us with his beautiful Christmas music. But you can see here it is just, I don't know. I'm so enamored with Santa in a sombrero and a poncho. It's just, he's still obviously Santa, but I just love his Southwestern appeal. So you can see that the kit, it is quite detailed, and you can see from a little different angle here how it does have such a 3D and kind of a just puffy, luscious, puffy effect. I'm working on Santa's hands now. I have to say that I really love the hands in this kit. They're so different. Frequently, hands on Santa or any other kind of a person in a kit kind of look like mittens or chubby, kind of mitteny kind of hands. And these hands really look, with the detailed and the fingers, like they could actually play the guitar. So often Santa's hands, like I said, look like they're mittens or gloves, and like they really couldn't play the guitar. But these hands can play the guitar. And although it's a bit unnerving to attach just a hand to the guitar, it does get attached to his arm and his sleeve here before long. This is a quick tutorial on tassel making. As you can see, there are many tassels in this pattern, and they have a great diagram and pictures on how to make them. So, but I thought it's always easier to see it sometimes. So you're going to take a full strand of floss, and it's got all 6 strands. You haven't taken any strands out. You're going to fold it in end to end. You got it tight, and fold that in half once. And then you're going to fold it in half a second time. And you're going to fold it in half a third time. And now you're going to lay that piece on a single strand of floss here. And you're going to use it, kind of center it as best as you can. And you're going to tie several knots in it here. And get them nice and tight. You can adjust it if it ends up not being quite on center. Don't worry about that. You can slide it a bit even after you tie several knots into it. Now you're going to take that and trim off the end. So you've got the tied, the knot ends, the single strand there. And you can hang on to that, and you're going to pull it by that and fold it in half. So those strand ends are what you're going to use to attach it to the stocking. Now you're going to, up at the top, maybe a 1/4 of an inch from where you tied it, you are going to use that single strand again, and you're going to tie that in several knots. Like I said, about a 1/4 of an inch below where the other strand was tied. So this is kind of the knob or the top knot of your tassel. You can see that there. And again, you're going to tie 3, 4 knots there and get them good and secure and tight. And then you'll trim those strands down and even with the bottom of your tassels. So that really is your tassel right there. It's made. So that gets trimmed, and then you snip through the loops. Now, after I made all of the tassels, I think there were 11 on Santa's poncho, then I went back and laid them all out and trimmed them to be exactly the same length. Here's a look at the finished stocking. It does not have the back on yet. It is just the finished front at this point. But Santa is just so jolly, and it is just so lovely to see him in a sombrero and serenading us with, Christmas music, mariachi style. Don't forget to check out our other videos. We have many videos on making stockings with little tutorials and details on those. We also have a lot of videos on crochet and patterns and embroidery. So feel free to check out some other of our videos. Also, to subscribe and like our videos, and make sure that you check out our Etsy shop because many of these are for sale, and also check out our website. We have a lot of information and details on our website as well. All those links will be in the description. We hope that you have a blessed day, and we hope that you're preparing for just a really richly blessed Christmas holiday season this year.